My parents gifted my sister my $75,000 college fund, which was intended for me by my late grandpa. I took legal action but got kicked out. Now, truth's out and karma's striking back. My life's always been tough thanks to my narcissistic parents favoring my sister. Mom's biased because of her own upbringing. I was always treated as the spare part, wearing hand-me-downs and playing with my sister's toys. Christmas was the only time I got something new to avoid judgment. My mom's mimicking our upbringing, favoring my sister like her parents favored hers. I spent my summers with my loving grandpa, who provided everything my parents didn't. When I finished elementary school, he invited me to stay at his farm. It was a relief, but when he passed, I had to return home to toxic parents. They refused to give me my college fund, instead giving it to my sister for her business. They brushed off my complaints, insisting I wait another year for college. Fed up, I threatened legal action. After receiving a lawyer's notice, my parents kicked me out. I took legal action, which led to a tense court battle. Eventually, the court ruled in my favor, ordering my dad to pay my college tuition. Though not ideal, it was a relief. Amidst this, my sister's life unraveled. She was exposed for running an illegal gambling business with the money my parents gave her. They cut her off, and she's now struggling, while I'm thriving in college, supported by my dad. Despite the hardships, I found peace and independence, leaving behind the toxic cycle of my family. In another story, my ex-wife cheated on me with a romantic guy. We divorced amicably, splitting assets. She squandered her share on an extravagant wedding in a lavish house. Now, drowning in debt, she had the audacity to ask me for money. I refused, realizing her poor decisions were not my problem. I moved on, finding humor in her downfall and focusing on my own happiness, leaving her in the past where she belongs. In the aftermath of a divorce, I focused on rebuilding my life. I channeled my energy into reconnecting with old hobbies and spending time with loved ones. The betrayal hurt, but I refused to let it define me. Instead, I poured myself into my work and personal development. As time passed, I found solace in my newfound independence. I embraced the freedom to make decisions without considering someone else's needs or desires. It was liberating to rediscover myself outside of the confines of a failing marriage. Meanwhile, my ex-wife's life took a different turn. Despite her initial attempts to maintain a facade of success, the reality of her financial predicament soon caught up with her. The extravagant lifestyle she had chosen to pursue left her drowning in debt, with no means to sustain it. In a desperate attempt to salvage her situation, she reached out to me for financial assistance. However, I remained steadfast in my decision to not enable her reckless behavior. I politely declined her request, citing that her financial troubles were a consequence of her own actions. While part of me felt a twinge of sympathy for her plight, I knew that bailing her out would only perpetuate the cycle of dependency and irresponsibility. Instead, I encouraged her to take ownership of her choices and work towards a solution on her own. Despite the challenges and heartache of the past, I found closure in knowing that I had stayed true to myself and prioritized my own well-being. As I moved forward with optimism and resilience, I embraced the promise of new beginnings and the endless possibilities that lay ahead.